This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, let others join. Before that, we have a small recap about the previous session. Okay, in last class, we have seen what is computer network, what is the scope of the computer network. It is everywhere. It is existing in your communication, your game applications, and your workplace. Everywhere it is existing. And next, we have seen definition of a network. What is network? Network is nothing but a combination of two or more nodes connected together with the help of some communication medium is called as a network. The nodes can be a computer, server, printer, switches, bridges, etc. Anything else, it is called as a node. And we have seen what is communication link. There are two ways. One is wired and wireless medium. So wired means it has some physical cable. Cable path is existed between the two nodes. In wireless, the air is acting as a medium. So the communication is happening with help of an waves. In wired medium, it is happening with help of, by means of an signals. And next is the components of a computer network. So components, under components, we have seen what is node, what is media, and what is services happening with help of this communication. And next, we have seen the characteristics of an network, that is fault tolerance, scalability, quality of service, and security. Next, data communication, which means how the communication is happening. There are three ways of communication, which is nothing but simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. And what is protocol? Protocol is nothing but set of rules used for communication, that is to be followed by the two devices to communicate a data. And next, we have seen the characteristics of an protocols in network. That is encoding, message formatting. Encoding is nothing but conversion of our data, that is conversion of analog data into an some code into a digital format, that is called as an encoding. Conversion of one format of data into an another format. And next comes the formatting and encapsulation, which is nothing but we are going to encapsulate the header and footer informations with the original message that is to be transmitted. And then message timing is nothing but the delivery of the message should be based on the priority, which message should be sent first and which can send with delay. Then that also can be that also the protocol should decide. Next is the message size. If the size of the message is very long, means the protocol should be capable enough to divide that data, that is a packet will be, the frame will be divided into a segments, and this segments will be sent and it should be received in the same order at the receiver side also. And next, message delivery options. There are three ways. One is unicast, one-to-one communication, multicast, one to many, and broadcast, one to all. So this is the thing we have seen in last class. And next we are moving on to the applications or uses of an computer network. Hope you all clear with the previous session, right? So now we can move on to the, is any clarification?
No, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next we are moving on to the applications or uses of an computer network. This is very familiar to us. So these are the four main applications. One is business applications. Second one is home applications. Third one is mobile users. And the last one is social applications. We will be seeing in detail what are those. So business means we can take our college. In our college, we are having one printer. For each department, we'll be having one or two printer, right? That is called as a resource sharing. So with the help of a network, we are able to share the resource. You might have seen in your department, in your HOD room, there is one printer will be there, right? For faculty cabin, there will be another printer. Okay, because the printer is very costly, we cannot provide the printer for everyone. Each and every faculty we cannot provide the printer, right? So here we can use the network for sharing the resource. Here the resource is printer. We are going to share the printer for everyone. So what we are going to do, we are going to connect 2 or more computers to a single printer. So if because why we are using more than 2 computers or more than 1 computers to be shared with a printer means, if for example, if at an instant of time 2 or more faculties are coming to take a printout, means they can use one computer, right? They can use the computers available which is connected with the printer. Okay, so in that case, we can use the printer by different computers also, and the resource is also shared by different people. Okay, this is called as an resource sharing. And how it is working, there are 2 ways resource sharing is happening. One is client server model, another one is peer to peer communication. First we'll be discussing about what is client server model. So client server model means, the best example we can say is the thing which we are browsing in our website, or we are browsing in our applications like Amazon, Flipkart, like that. Okay, in shopping applications, online shopping applications. So what client server model is mean, client will be requesting something from the server, and based on the request, the server will be providing the content to us. Okay, this is called as a client server model. For example, you are using an Amazon application app in your mobile phone. You're opening the Amazon application app and you're searching for a product, like you're searching for a pen drive. So you'll be typing in search, you'll be typing as pen drive. So what this Amazon application is doing, it will be taking the request from the client. You're the client, you're asking for an pen drive collections. Okay, so the application will be sending our request to the server. Server is nothing but Amazon server, which is available in cloud. Okay, so here once the server is receiving our request, it will be searching, it will be taking all the informations relevant to the request. So it will be taking all the pen drive, that is all the products available, pen drive products available, and all the pen drive products which are given by different vendors. Okay, so those will be listed below. This is the information which is given by the server to the client. Okay, the same application is getting that information from the server, and it is listing all those informations to us. That is the client. So from this we can search the relevant product and we can add to cart for buying purpose. Okay, so this is called as a client server model. So client server model means the client will be requesting something from the server, and the server will be responding to the client request. Okay, so this is one of the way how the communication is happening in business application. And another second one is the another thing is we'll be seeing in home applications. Okay, second thing is peer-to-peer communication that we'll be seeing in home application. Second application of business is, that is voice over IP. I already told you voice over IP is nothing but we are making a telephone call with the support of an internet. Okay, this is now playing a vital role in all the corporate companies, in all the IT companies, right? Because in work from home, they all communicating only with the help of the Vivo IP. Okay, they are not making a call through their telephones and all, through their cell phone network. They are making a call with the help of an internet service only. Okay, all the meetings and all the conference, everything is happening with the help of an voice over IP. So this is another example for a business applications with the support of an computer networks. Okay, so that's all about 2 major applications of this applications in business. One thing is the client server model, that is resource sharing, and another one is the voice over IP. This is a simple animation clip which is happening here. So here the meeting conference is going on, that online meeting is going on. With the online meeting, they are able to chat with each other, as well as they can have a video conference also. Live conference is happening. So this is done with the help of an Vivo IP support, that is voice over IP technology. So next comes the home application. Home applications have two main things. One is client server model, another one is peer-to-peer model. Okay. So client server model, as I told you previous example, same thing only here also. So what are the applications available is, first one is connecting to the remote computers. So connecting to the remote computers means you are using your local computer. Local computer is nothing but the computer that you are using, that we are using is called as a local computer. From your local computer, you are sending a mail to your friend. Your friend computer is called as a remote computer. Okay, so the mail communication is happening between these two devices. So this way of communication is called as a connectivity to a remote computers. And next one is the e-commerce. E-commerce is nothing but our online shopping. So you are making the shopping with the help of your computers. You're login to your Amazon websites and you're making some order, or Flipkart websites and you're making some order. So this is done with the help of your computers, and this is supported with the help of a client server model. And next one is you're accessing some websites. For example, you're accessing the Google websites, or you're accessing some other websites like some Gmail websites like that. There are lots and lots of websites there, right? So you're accessing the website. This is also nothing but client server model. You're logging to your Google website and you're searching for some content, means from the Google server that particular content will be taken and it will be given to us. Okay. And next comes the this application in the newspaper. Now y'all using your online news app, news applications. There are multiple applications available like Tandi, Hindu. There are individual news application apps are available in our online store, app store, right? So this is an example of one of the application newspapers. So nowadays we can access that application. We can get to the day-to-day news informations with the online support itself. We are not we don't want to go for shop and buy the newspapers, or we don't want the person to give the newspaper daily to us. We can wherever we are, with the help of smart devices, we can access the informations, right? And next application is electronic books, that is e-books. So nowadays e-books is playing a vital role. We are sharing the e-books, right? For your study material purpose, we are sharing the e-books, which is nothing but all the books are available in soft copy in the online. Okay, that is called as an e-books, and online libraries are available where we can access the books for free of cost, as well as for amount. For payment also the books are available. And these are some of the applications of client server model. Next, we are moving on to the peer-to-peer communication. These all simple applications. Hope you all clear. If you are having any doubt in between, means you can ask me, or you can ask in chat also. Okay. Next application is peer-to-peer application, which is coming under the home applications. So peer-to-peer application is nothing but, as I told you, that Gmail communication, or you can say in olden days there is an Gtalk. So with the Gmail we can chat with each other, right? That is an example of an peer-to-peer communication. So what does peer-to-peer communication means? Here there is no any client, there is no any server. You're going to chat with your friend, means you're going to send some information to your friend and he is going to reply for our text message or anything else. Here I'm not going to act as a client, or my friend is not going to act as a server. We are in two peers, we are in two client, we are in two different users. So this type of communication is called as a peer-to-peer communication. Example, we can say WhatsApp communication and your Insta communication, everything else. We'll be seeing examples in next slide. So peer-to-peer communication means here no one is acting as a client, or no one is acting as a server. Just two users are going to communicate with each other. So this is called as a peer-to-peer communication. So here we can see the examples of an peer-to-peer communication. So first one is we are sharing our music in WhatsApp or something else. We can share our music with our friends, right? And second one is email communication. That is also an example of an email communication. Sorry, peer-to-peer communication. And third one is an instant messaging. So instant messaging is nothing but example. The best example is your WhatsApp communication, WhatsApp chat. You're typing, you're speaking with your friends, or you're chatting with your friends with the help of an WhatsApp. It is an application which is an example for instant messaging. And next one is multi-person messaging service, which means you're going to post some information, you're going to send some information to a group of people. That is called as a multi-person messaging service. Example is in Twitter. You're going to tweet something to your friend circle or to a group of people. So all the people, all the community, all the people in the same community will be able to see that information that you're going to tweet, right? Or all the person who is following you will be able to see that information. So this is an example of a multi-person messaging service. And next one is the sharing of audio and video. That is with the help of an internet radio stations, we can share our audio informations, and we can share our video informations with the help of an YouTube. Nowadays YouTube is playing a vital role. Everyone creating a channel, everyone are creating a channel in the YouTube server, and they are creating their own videos, like DIY videos and many other videos they are sharing, right? So this is happening only with the help of an internet. And the last one is the social network applications like Facebook and all. That is person to person communication or accessing the information, which means in Facebook, if you're friend with your if you're in Facebook, you're accessing your friend's information. Okay, that is, you're accessing their information, you're accessing their photos, whatever the things they are posting, you're able to access those information. That is example of an person to person communication, accessing the information. Okay, Facebook is the best example for that. So these are the examples of an peer-to-peer communication in home applications. And previously we have seen examples of an client server model communication home applications. Any doubt as of now? Okay, thank you for your response, Shivanandam. Thank you so much for your response. Thank you, Catherine. And thank you, Muttumani Devi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, guys. Okay, next is mobile users. So mobile users means like gaming, same thing, only gaming. You're using your Insta app, you're using your Twitter app, everything else. You're surfing some information with the help of an Google Chrome app in your mobiles. So whatever thing you can do with the help of a computer, you can do with the mobile users or mobile also. So these are this is one of an application by network for the mobile smartphones. Okay. And next, even mobile can act as an hotspot. That is, it can act as an Wi-Fi. Hotspot is nothing but a mobile device can act as an Wi-Fi, means it is called as an hotspot. Okay, with the support of an IEEE standard, which is nothing but a protocol which is defined by the IEEE, that is 802.11. This is a standard followed by the mobile device when it is acting as a hotspot. So hotspot means the mobile is acting as a Wi-Fi. So from the Wi-Fi signal from our mobile phone, we can connect it with the laptop, or we can connect it with another mobile device, and we can access the internet from the hotspot device. So this also supported with the help of a network communication. And next one is the GPS, that is some global positioning system, M-commerce, NFC, then wearable computers. So these are all the simple applications we'll be seeing in next slide with the help of a mobile. So you can see here. So global GPS is nothing but it is an application, or it is an device which is available in our mobile phone, which can track the location. So with the support of this, it can access the longitude and latitude information, and it will be giving the location with the longitude and latitude information. This is called as an GPS technology. Okay, we are able to share our location with our friends through WhatsApp, or we can use a Google map, right? To search some location, we can use a Google map, and we'll be tracking the path which is shown by the Google map. That is the application which is supported with the help of an GPS system in our mobile phone. And next application is m-commerce. M-commerce is nothing but mobile commerce, that is shopping with the help of a mobile phone. So whatever thing we can do with the computer, we can do with our mobile phone also. We are having our online shopping applications, lot of applications like Myntra, like many shopping applications are there, and we can shop anything with the help of an mobile commerce. And next comes the NFC. NFC is nothing but near field communication. So near field communication means in many cases you will be showing your mobile phone with a Paytm app or with some barcode reader, right? You'll be showing in mobile phone and you can pay the amount. Okay, so this payment is happening with the support of an NFC card which is available in your mobile phone. So if your smartphone is supported or it is coming inbuilt with an NFC card means then that payment can be done. If that is not available in your smartphone means that payment we cannot do that payment. Okay, in shopping, in dress textile shopping and all, you can pay your amount with the help of scanning the code which is available in their shop. You might have seen that in online real in big malls and all, big textile shop and all, you might have seen. Okay, it is not like scratching your cards, your payment cards. It is like showing your mobile phone or you're scanning the code available and you're doing the payment. Okay, this is done only with the help of an NFC card which is available in your mobile phone. Okay, and next comes the wearables. Wearables is nothing but the best example is we can say Fitbit and iWatches, like which can be connected with your mobile phone. Okay, there is a watch which can be connected with your mobile phone with the help of an Bluetooth, and whatever the information which is seen in the mobile phone you can access with your watch. You might have seen this here. It is showing some animation clip, right? You can see some many applications shown at the top of this watch, like WhatsApp and mobile call and messages, everything. So whatever thing you can do with the help of your mobile phone, which can be done with the help of the, see here, first it is shown, right? Call icon, then messaging icon, then WhatsApp icon, everything is shown in this watch, which is nothing but just connected with your mobile phone with the help of an Bluetooth. And in some case, if you're driving means, in that case, if you're getting a call means, you can just turn your watch, you can just turn your hand and click in your watch, and you can attend the call with the help of your watch. You don't want to take the mobile phone, you don't want to take the mobile phone and keep near your ears, or you don't want to click a loudspeaker and speak and all. Okay, which is nothing but your watch and the mobile phone is connected together with the help of an Bluetooth. So all the information which you can access with your mobile phone can be done with the help of the watch. Those informations will get synchronized between watch and the mobile phone. Okay, these are some of the applications of computer networks in the mobile phones, that is smart devices. Okay, that's all about the applications part. So home, we have seen business applications, then mobile applications, and then home applications we have seen so far. And we have another last application is social applications, social network applications, that we have covered in home application itself. That is what are the social networks we have there, and how the network is supporting for this social networks like Insta, like Twitter, like Facebook and all. Okay, so that's all about the uses of computer networks in the different domains. So next we are moving on to the classifications of computer networks. This all very simple topic you might have learned in your schoolings, but again I'm just refreshing the topic now. So what are those is personal area network, that is PAN, then local area network LAN, and metropolitan area network. Then last one is the wide area network WAN. We'll be discussing in detail what is the concept or what is the meaning of these classifications. So personal area network means those network which is formed with our home, inside our personal life. Okay, like inside your home or inside your office, you're having a small room, and inside that small room, your that room is used as an office purpose, means that is also in personal area network. Okay, so this is called as an personal area network. For example, you're connecting your mobile phone with your laptop with the support of an Bluetooth, or you're connecting your mouse or keyboard with the support of an Bluetooth with your laptop. This network, this connection of these devices is called as a personal area network. Okay, that is PAN. These are the examples, and another best example is while driving car, you'll be connecting your mobile phone with a Bluetooth with the audio. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to play some music. All the songs which are available in your mobile phone can be played with the audio system available in your car without the headphone support. That is with the help of an Bluetooth. So this network is also called as a personal area network. So all those networks which is formed for your personal use, it is called as a personal area network. Okay. So these are some of the examples, like connection of your devices with your Bluetooth, with the support of an Bluetooth, and you're connecting your camera with your system, and you're connecting your printer which is available in the home with the computer, or you're connecting your some other game devices with your PlayStation or something else with your TV or some other laptop, something else. So this kind of connection is called as a PAN network. In medical also, this PAN is playing a vital role, like connecting your pacemaker or insulin pump and your hearing aid with the remote device, like it can be connected with a remote control, or it can be connected with some other smart devices. Okay, to check the or to monitor the device capability. Okay. Next, RFID card, smart cards, library books. In your library, you might have seen that RFID card reader. Okay, they'll be scanning the book, and they'll be scanning your ID card also for putting the entry or for return purpose and all. This is also in PAN network. Okay, so here you, from your ID card, they are accessing the RFID information, and they are entering the book details. Okay, and same thing in our college, we are having an in food court, we're having an this RFID tag reader for shopping purpose. Okay, you can add amount to your ID card, and you can pay amount with the help of an ID card. This is happening with the help of an RFID reader, which is available inside your ID card. Okay. Okay, next is the LAN, local area network. Hope you're clear with the PAN network. So LAN is nothing but it is little bit larger than the PAN network. It is used in a campus, within a campus. So this network is called as a local area network. You might have seen in your school and in the colleges and all. So within a college or within a school, within a local, within a particular range, they'll be using this network, LAN network. Okay. So example for LAN network is the communication happening with the help with the campus, within a single campus, within a college or within a school. Okay, this is called as a local area network. You can share your information. You can access the information from anywhere. For example, you can check your books away, whatever the books you have accessed with the help of your ERP login. So ERP login is you can access your ERP login with the support of an LAN. You might have seen in your laboratories and all, even there is no network support, your ERP login will be opening. This is happening only with the help of an LAN network, LAN connection. Okay. So this connection is done with the help of an wired LAN as well as wireless LAN. If the wired LAN is, if you're going to make a wired connection means we'll be using an Ethernet cable along with the hub and the switches. And if you're going to connect, make a connection with the help of an wireless LAN means you're going to perform with the help of an Wi-Fi communication. Okay, in our project lab and all, you might have seen we have an Wi-Fi communication. Okay, that is an LAN. With the support of an LAN, Wi-Fi is happening. Okay, next. I'm just moving on to the next slide. Hope that you're clear. Okay. Next is the metropolitan area network, which is nothing but it is going to connect two or more LAN. So you can, for example, there are two departmental stores. Okay, one store is available in South Coimbatore and another store is available in North Coimbatore. You can say, for example. Okay. So what happened here is you're going to buy some product. If that product is not available in that, you're going to buy some product in the store or departmental store which is available in the south. Okay, if the product is not available means what the person will do, the owner or the cash counter person will be checking for the product if it is available in another branch which is there in the north. Okay, this can be done with the help of a man. So these two LAN or local area network can be connected together with the help of an internet to form a MAN network. Okay. So like this, he can access the information. So a person from branch 1 can access the system which is available here and access the information from the branch 2, whether the product is available in branch 2 or not. So if that product is available means he'll be saying come afternoon or come tomorrow. That product, I will be taking that product and keeping you for tomorrow. You can come and get the product tomorrow, like that he'll be saying. So this is happening only with the help of a MAN support, metropolitan area network. So how this communication is happening is with the help of an switches and routers. Okay, here the intermediary devices which is used is switches and routers for communication purpose, as well as bridges also used here. Okay, we'll be discussing about what is switch, what is hub in later slides. And next classification is wide area network, which is done with the help of a satellite communication. So here, the best example we can say is you're going to make a call with your friend who is in America. Okay, you're going to make a call with the help of an Skype, or you're going to make a call with the help of an some video VoIP. Okay, this is done with the help of a satellite. So we are able to communicate with our friend with the help of an internet support, and this done with the help of an WAN communication. So this type of communication is called as a wide area network. This form of this way of network connection is called as a wide area network. Okay, here the devices, all the devices are used. All the end-to-end devices are used on all the intermediate devices are used. Switches, hubs, bridges, every device are used here for communication purpose. So that's all about the classification of networks. Any doubt in network classification means you can ask me. Okay, thank you, Nohit. Thank you, Arun Kumar. Thank you, Shivanandam. Thank you, guys, for your response. Thank you, Linda. Okay, fine. Shall I cover the topology topic also now? Because we have still 20 minutes time. Okay, okay. Thank you, Abhinandan. Abhinandan, thank you. Okay, fine. Then I'll be moving on to topology topic also. It is very simple topic only. By this topology, we can wind up the today's class. Okay, thank you, Amrita Vashni, for your response. So now we are going to discuss about topology. Topology is nothing but layout. So there are layout is nothing but it can be physical topology or it can be logical topology. So what is layout is nothing but how the nodes are arranged. Okay, that is called as a topology. How it is connected, how one node is connected with another node. That is called as a topology. There are two layouts. One is physical topology, another one is logical topology. Physical topology means how the nodes are connected physically. How one node is connected with another node with the help of an wire cable. That is called as a physical topology. Logical topology means how the data is transferred, how the data communication is happening. That is called as a logical topology. Physical topology means how the wire cables are connected with each other. That is called as a physical topology. Logical topology means in what way and how the data communication is happening. That layout is called as a logical topology. Okay. So this is a basic concept of, we'll be discussing about what are the topologies available. These are the major topologies available in a network. One is bus, ring, star, mesh, and hybrid. Okay, among this, bus, ring, and star are used in the LAN communication. Okay, and others are used in WAN, MAN, other communications also. Okay, so now we can discuss what is how this topology is made in detail. So by seeing diagram itself, we can understand easily. So you can see bus topology here. So bus topology means all the nodes will be connected to a central cable. Okay, there will be a central cable to which all the nodes in that network will be connected to that. Okay, so in here, if one node wants to send a data to another node, for example, if node 1 wants to send a data to node 7, then it will be sending the data through the central cable only. The data will be passing through the central cable only and it will be reaching the node 7. So here the data will be, since the data is traveling through the central cable, all the other nodes in the network are able to see this data. Okay, but all the other nodes will be receiving the data, but once it see the destination address, then that is once the node is receiving the data, it will be decapsulating, it will be checking for the destination address. If it is not the correct destination address, means that corresponding node will be rejecting the data. So what happens here, all the other nodes in the network will be rejecting the data, only the node 7 will be receiving the data because this is the actual destination. Okay, this type of communication is called as a bus topology. This way of topology or this way of arrangement of an nodes in a network is called as a bus topology. Okay. Next, we can take a simple scenario. For example, here node 1 is this computer which I'm using. Okay, I'm going to print some data to the printer. So what happens here? I'll be sending the data to the printer. In this cable, lot other computers also connected. All the other computers also will be receiving the data, but it will be rejecting all those informations. Only the particular node 3, which is the printer, will be receiving the data and it will be printing the information. Okay, next we can see the advantages and disadvantages of this bus topology. It is less expensive. It is suited for a temporary network. Temporarily, you are going to you are going to do some network connections, means you can use this bus topology because it is less expensive, and node failure does not affect others. So what does this mean is, here node 1 is sending the data to print to the node 3. If this time, in this situation, if system node 6, this node 6 is a computer, if this system is not working, it is failed, means the communication between node 1 and the printer will not get affected. That is the meaning of this line. Node failure does not affect others. So any node failed means it will not affect the communication of other nodes. Okay, only if the node 1 is failed, the communication will be affected. Okay, other nodes communicate. If other node failure will not affect the communication. Okay, this is the advantage of bus topology. Next one is the disadvantage. Not fault tolerant, which means, for example, here this node is sending a data to the printer. There is a problem in the cable in the central node. Here there is a damage. Okay, in that case we can identify the communication is not happening because there is a problem in the central node. Okay, but if there is any problem in any other system means we cannot identify. Okay, we cannot identify until we are going and check each computers. Okay, this is called as a not fault tolerant. And next one is the limited computers. So since we are using a central cable, only limited number of computers can be connected. If you are connecting more computers means it will be creating a bottleneck, that is overload. Okay, if one or more computers are sending the same information or transferring the information through the same central cable means it will be creating a congestion. So we can connect only a small number of computers, and there is no security because the information from node 1 is being seen by all the other nodes in the network. So it is not security. That's all about the bus topology. Second one is the ring topology. So ring is nothing but it will be communicating the data in an unidirectional manner. So like this, the connection will be there. One node will be connected with another node, and here the node 2 is connected with node 3. Like this, it will be connected in a ring shape, in circular shape. Okay, so here the data communication will happen only in a unidirectional manner. Unidirectional means node 1 can send data to node 2 and node 2 cannot send data to node 1. So only one direction of data communication is happening. Okay, this is called as an unidirectional communication. And the bidirectional communication is also possible if you are connecting another cable in an opposite direction. Okay, in opposite direction you can connect another cable. So from node 3 to node 2 and from node 2 to node 1 you can connect and you can form a bidirectional ring topology. But this will it will be an expensive because you're using another extra cable for communication purpose. Okay, this is a ring topology concept. Now we can see what is the advantage and disadvantage. So advantage is performance is better than bus topology, and the collision is minimized when compared to bus topology, and installation is very easy. Then disadvantages, since it is unidirectional, failure at one point affects the whole network. It is obvious. We can see the previous slide. So if, for example, take a concept like node 1 is sending data to node 5. So it can send data in this manner only. Okay. So while sending, if this node, for example, if node 3 is not working, what happens? The data will not be received by the node 3 and node 3 will not send data to node 4 and it is not received by the node 5. So failure of any node will affect the entire communication. Okay, that is the disadvantage which is mentioned previously. We can see another disadvantage. High load reduces the performance. Obviously, if node 1 is sending data as well as node 2 is sending data and node 3 also sending data means here creates a congestion. And last one is no security. Obviously, there is no security because the data from node 1 is being seen by node 2 as well as node 3 also. But the data should be sent to node 5 alone, but it is being seen by other nodes also. So this is called that is no security. Okay, here the application of this ring topologies, it is used in LAN communication. Next we can see star topology. Star is nothing but here there will be a central hub or switch all the nodes will be connected to a central hub or switch, and all the nodes can send data to one another only through the hub or switch. For example, if node 1 wants to send a data to node 3 for printing, means it will be sending the data through the hub. The hub will be sending the data to the node 3. So the central hub will be receiving all the information. It will be sending to the, and it will be forwarding that information to the corresponding node. Okay. Now we can see what is the advantage and disadvantage. Easy to design and implementation, good fault tolerant, scalable. And disadvantage is single point of failure affects the whole network. Single point of failure means if hub or switch has been damaged, then it will affect the whole network. Okay. And next, bottleneck. Bottleneck is nothing but overload. So at same instant of time, node 1 is also sending data, and node 5 is also sending data, node 4 is also sending data, means it will create an bottleneck at the switch or hub, that is the central device. Okay, there all the data will be congested, it will be creating a bottleneck. And next is the last one is the increased cost. Switch and hub is a little bit costlier. So if you're using that in a network, means it will be increasing the cost. So that's all about the star topology. Next, we are moving on to the mesh topology. It is very simple. So, okay, star topology example I have missed out. It is used in a high-speed LAN communication. So where you need a higher speed communication in the LAN network, means you can go for star topology. In our lab and all, we'll be using in star topology only. You have seen a hub in our laboratory. Next comes the mesh topology. Mesh is nothing but one-to-one communication. So all the nodes will be connected to each other. Node 1 will be connected to node 2 as well as node 3 as well as node 4 as well as node 5. So here node 1 can send directly data to node 5 if it want to send the data to node 5. So this is called as a mesh topology. Here the communication is happening very well. It is a very advantage. Here the fault tolerant means if there is any problem. For example, if if node 1 wants to send a data to node 4, means if there is any problem in this cable, okay, if there is any problem in this path, means it can take an alternative path. It can send the data to node 5 and then node 5 can send the data to node 4. That is, it can take an alternative path and it can send the data. So it is fault tolerant, reliable, secured. Okay, here the data is not seen by other nodes, so it is secured and there is no traffic problem also. So what is the disadvantage? It is if there is broadcasting is happening, means there will be creating a problem. Broadcasting means one to all. If node 1 is sending data, it is broadcasting data to other nodes, means it is sending data to all the other nodes. So here congestion will happen. Okay, that is the problem in mesh topology. And it is expensive, obviously, because it requires a more cable, and it is also a high cost, and also occupies a more space because it is using large number of cables. This is the drawback of mesh topology. So where this mesh topology is used is in our LAN line communication. In olden days, we are using LAN line communication, right? There this type of mesh topology is used. Last one is the hybrid topology. With this, our topic is going to get over. Hybrid is nothing but combination of all the topology. Combination of bus, combination of ring, combination of mesh, or combination of star. Then that network is called as a hybrid topology. Combination of two or more network is called as a network. Two or more topology is called as a hybrid topology. Okay, example is it is used in TV network. Our TV cable, right? Network cable operator, right? They are using this type of hybrid topology. And in our landline telephone network also, this hybrid topology is being used. So that's all about the topology concept. Any doubt in this topology? Or any doubt so far as we have discussed? Thank you, Shivanandam. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Muttumani Devi. Thank you, Nohit. Okay, with a small, thank you, Arun Kumar. And with a small quiz, we can wind up this session. Very simple quiz only. Can anyone say which topology is fault tolerant? Example of an topology which is fault tolerant. So fault tolerant means it can find an alternative path for sending a data. Okay, I'll be giving the answer. The example star topology. Yes, hybrid topology also. It is correct answer only. Thank you, Linda, for your response. Star and mesh or the exact answer. Yes, Muttumani Devi has given and mesh topology. Very good. So these are examples of an fault tolerant. And next is give some examples of a topology which is used in LAN communication. It's very good. It is mesh star. I think mesh star and ring. Okay, we can check it. Thank you for your response. We can check it. Bus, star, and ring. Okay. Bus, star, and ring. Okay, good. Linda, Shivanandam, then Catherine, and Muttumani Devi for your interactions. I'm happy to see these interactions, guys. Okay, these are the examples of a LAN topology: bus, star, and ring. It is used in LAN communication network. Okay, that's all about today's session. We can continue with it tomorrow. Tomorrow. If there is no doubt you're clear, means we can wind up the class. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, thank you guys thank you all for your response in chat. Thank you everyone. We can wind up the class. Yes, thank you all.